Hey, Freedom Hackers, Roger DeVoe. And a lot of you are asking a lot of questions, which is awesome, about the streaming live to Facebook video that I did. So I thought I'd jump on here, answer a few of those questions. Um, I don't have a ton of time, but if you're here while I'm here and you ask more questions, I'll try to answer them for you. But the first thing that I want to say is that being able to stream live to Facebook isn't a replacement for something like webinars. They have two very, very different uses in your business. Webinars are great because they're controlled. You're going to be able to address everybody's questions. And you get to, you build your list through them. You get to make a sale. It's more of a structured event. What's good about being able to do something like this, where you can just stream live to Facebook, is being able to do something like I'm doing right now. If people are asking a lot of questions, instead of typing up answers for all of them, being able to actually just post a live video in the comments of a popular post and answer the questions. Being able to interact with people. I think the potential for this is huge to just really help you connect with your audience, to build that relationship, and to let them get to know you better, to answer those questions that people have. And think you can make a post on your Facebook page telling people, hey, in 2 hours, I'm going to be doing a Q&A right here on Facebook. And in 2 hours later, you can come back to that post, edit it, add your YouTube link, and bam, now 2 hours later, that post has your live streaming video, and you can now talk and deliver your message. This is great if you're making a book announcement or a product announcement. What a great way to just be able to connect with people where they are, right on Facebook, communicate with them, and then move on with your day. It doesn't need to be a long thing. So what I'm going to do, the number one questions that people seem to be asking, and also let me know, I'm trying a new camera setup. So hopefully you can see me fine, you can hear me fine. I'm going to assume that you can. I'm also hitting play here on the video so I can show you as an example, and I'm going to mute myself. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share my screen again. Another reason why I absolutely love streaming to Facebook live using Google Hangouts versus another one of those services, even streaming with things like Blab, Periscope, Facebook Live. It's, you're holding your phone, you're staring at the camera. Here, if someone has a very technical question, I can just stream a live video right there and answer it and show my screen. So here's what I'm going to do. A lot of the questions have been, how do you monitor the questions? If you're in the Hangout, how do you answer the questions on Facebook? And very simply, once you launch your Hangout and you hit start broadcast, and I posted a video, if you don't know how to do that, watch the video to show you how to use a Hangout. Once you launch your Hangout, you launch it, you're live, you don't need to be there ever again. So let me show my screen. I'll show my whole screen here. There's the screen of Dutch. Just ignore that for a second. But once this is in my Hangout, this is what I see. This chat box is only for other people live in the Hangout with me, not people watching it. So comments are always outside of it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip over back here to the my Facebook, where I've posted the video. And so you'll see, look where I paused it. That's not a flattering look. But right here, you'll see that it's live. So this is me. Now there's a little delay. So you'll see it's a few seconds behind where I'm at right now. But what you can do is people will ask the questions right here in Facebook. So let's go through some of these questions and let's answer them. So if I go back up to the top where I posted, I can scroll through. And again, my Hangout keeps running. And I could have the camera on me still, by the way. I don't need to be sharing my screen to go look at Facebook. You could be looking at my face right now still, and I could be looking for questions. In fact, why don't I do that? Why don't I do that? Come back so you can see me. And now I'm switching back to Facebook. And I'm going to go through and we can see if there are any questions. So here we go. Leandra Griffith King, cool name. This sounds and looks so cool, just a question. If you're live and people are commenting like they usually do during webinars, wouldn't others who have commented get a bunch of notifications for every new person that comments? Just wondering. Great question. Here's what I would do. I would, if I'm broadcasting live on Facebook and I'm expecting a bunch of people to show up live, if there's going to be enough comments to annoy people, I would make the first comment myself. and say, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer live, reply to this comment. That way, any questions get in the same notification. So yeah, other people who ask questions will get notifications, but that's okay. You're asking a question. You don't mind that as much. And that way, people who are just commenting in general, who aren't necessarily asking your question, just saying, cool, thumbs up, great idea, that's in a separate thread. So they won't get a notification every time another person asks a question. So I would separate it a little bit that way. They're still going to get a notification that someone commented, but make the first comment and tell people if you have questions, reply to that. Let me have a sip of water here. Okay, someone else asks, when you have to be on Facebook? Yes, exactly. So you can be looking at Facebook. You don't need to have your Hangout open to be able to participate in the actual comments. So you can go and do whatever you like on your computer, and that camera is still rolling and you're still broadcasting live. So someone was also wondering, all right, here we go. When I said about syndication, so I could have this broadcasting to my page live, and at the exact same time, I could have it, anyone can share this video and anyone can watch it live. It's now available, it's public. So how do you monitor questions? The real simple answer is that you can't really. You can only monitor the questions, the main one that you did on your main profile. And so you can say that every now and then. Listen, if you want to join in the conversation, hop over to Roger DeVoe, Facebook/Roger DeVoe. Don't do that because I'm not actually broadcasting on my personal page, but that's what I would do. Every now and then just say, hey, if you want to ask questions, hop on over to my main page, ask away. So that way the other people can advertise it for you. People can watch and comment, but if people have questions, they can jump over and watch it live on your page and ask those questions. What you could also do is if you're doing something like a virtual summit, let's say if I'm organizing a virtual summit now, I might do a live, we're launching broadcast right to Facebook, and I can get all of the speakers and anyone who's a promotional partner to share that broadcast live. And so they can share it on all of their pages. Everyone will get it. And what happens then is I can make a nice, exciting announcement. Here we go. We're launching live. Here's what to expect. And those people can be on their Facebook answering questions that their audience asks because they know about the event. They were a speaker for it. They're a part of it. So there's a good chance that they know what's happening. So they can also answer their own questions. It doesn't need to be just you doing it. So let's go see if we have any other questions here. Doesn't autoplay. No. If you upload a video right to Facebook, that's cool when you're scrolling through it. Autoplays. Unfortunately, the downside to doing this is it's just a little notification bar with a YouTube video player with the title of your video. So make sure the title of your video is something that sounds interesting that people might want to click. And you can always post your words above it describing it. So tell people, watch live now at capitals, get their attention. And you could do that. So that's what's cool. Here's another question. Keith, I understand the syndication side, but why use Google Hangouts? He says, Google Hangouts have been especially disappointing in terms of the technology. You could do the same thing with virtually any other live streaming platform. So here's my answer to why Hangouts. First of all, some people have some tech issues when it comes to Hangouts. But honestly, I've built my business using Hangouts. I've done webinars using Hangouts and selling 5 figures on webinars using Hangouts. I used to just embed the Hangout video like you see here. You can embed it into a website page of yours and do a webinar that way. And it's been fairly reliable for me. Have there been issues every now and then? Absolutely. Things happen, but I have good friends who run GoToWebinar meetings with hundreds of people on. They've had it shut down and crash on them. And so nothing's 100% reliable. Hangouts is free. And what I love about Hangouts is the fact that not only do I get to broadcast to you live, to me, there's nothing better than being able to see face-to-face. So a lot of other things like, let's say, GoToWebinar, you don't get that live feed as well. It doesn't record properly. And the bandwidth is harder. So not only do I get to talk to you live, which I love, but if people are asking a question, I can share my screen. I can share any document. I can share any web page, or like what I do here is I just share my entire screen. So if you're bringing people through something and you want to show them something, you can come to a page that's on your website and you can take them through. And so here's a page that I'm building with the freebies, by the way, and this is where you'll notice the video that I shared to you. So yes, I'm giving you my freebies without even making you give your name and email because I want to share them. But you could bring people through. So if someone's having a problem finding something, you could broadcast, share your screen, and show them where to find, oh, here's the video. You want to know about Webinar Jam. Here's the video. Click it, and then they can see it plays. So you get to do that with Hangouts. You can't really do that with pretty much anything else that I really know of. So if you know something, let me know. But that's why I use Hangouts. That's the answer. That's why I love about it. So let's go on, see if we have some other questions here. Can't comment on this Hangout in Google for some reason. Interesting. Petite DJ, you have the coolest name ever. Let me know how you say it. I say Petite DJ. It's almost like you're a little DJ. That's cool. So can't comment on this Hangout in Google for some reason. So I don't know, are you seeing it like on my Google page? Is it live there? Or are you clicking the YouTube and trying to comment there? That's interesting. Let me know where you see the comments. You should be able to comment, even if you click the YouTube link, you can comment right on YouTube, which actually, now that I said that, that might be a good idea. Let me backstep a little bit. When you're talking about will people get the notifications and be annoyed, what you could always do, I'm going to share my screen. Let me share my screen with you and show you this. This could be a good way to get a lot more interaction on from Facebook into your YouTube channel as well, by the way. I'm going to share my screen. Sharing my whole desktop, popping back over to Facebook. So here's what you can do. You can tell people, hey, listen, here's my video streaming live. If you have any questions, what I want you to do is on the video, click the YouTube symbol, and it's going to open it up on YouTube. And then under YouTube, now it looks like in my channel settings, because of the way that the channel I launched this from, I don't have my comments set up yet, but you could have your comments. So that answers your question, by the way, Petite. And you can drive all your comments here to Facebook. So you can have people commenting directly live here on Facebook and answer all of the questions on Facebook. So all those people who shared your video, you just keep saying, hey, if you want, click the YouTube link, come ask all your questions on YouTube. We're answering them live. So that's a good question, but my fault. I don't use my YouTube channel. I should. I don't really use it for promotion. I embed all my videos elsewhere. I probably should, and I probably will shortly, but I just haven't really needed it. The way I've been growing my business has been working pretty well at this stage, but I'm about to relaunch my website, relaunch some programs, so I'll get a little more serious about building out my list a little more. So maybe that's something I'll do. So I will enable comments, and from now on, maybe send traffic over there for people to do it. So thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate it. But I hope that gives you an idea of how you could use this. Again, anything that you have a question on, the fact that you can just jump in, share your screen with people, talk to them, answer questions, find out problems like Petite just pointed out for me that probably something I should look into, but again, I just don't use YouTube that much. But that's the easiest way. So what I do is, as you can see, I just have my Facebook open, and that's mainly how I answer questions. If I'm doing this, I'm just going to watch for people posting questions, and I'm going to answer them right here on Facebook. I can even type. So right now, I'm just going to reply to you, Petite, and say, thank you, because you pointed out my mistake. So you could chat just like it's a webinar. You could chat and just answer the questions right here on Facebook. But like I said, that might actually be a better idea. Send all of the traffic to YouTube when you're doing it, especially if you're planning on having more people. That way people don't get annoyed with all of the comments. Send them over to Facebook. Get them to comment on your video there, ask questions. You're going to get a ton of comments on your video you might not have gotten before, which helps you coming up in search. And you get to answer people's questions and connect with them live anyway. So for anyone who doesn't use Hangouts much, I suggest you do. This tool, I did 2 different client meetings this morning for some one-on-one consultations through Hangouts, because you get to share your screen. You can share website work we're doing. You can share documents. You can share links right in the chat. It's a great tool. You can have up to 10 people in one call. So you can do group coaching sessions where everyone gets to see each other and talk, share their screen, share their updates. And what's cool about doing a Hangout, when you launch it, and again, I posted a video in this comment thread showing you how to use Hangouts where you can have it private. So it doesn't get broadcast to the world. So the only people that know about the Hangout are people you share the link with. So you can do private meetings, you can do private things, still have it broadcast, but it's not broadcasting to everyone. But what it does is it automatically records as an unlisted video to your YouTube. So you'll see a lot of my training videos, I'm sharing my screen and stuff in them. A lot of them I use Hangouts for, because I just launch a Hangout, I make it unlisted so it doesn't go private. I share my screen, I hit broadcast, so now it's going live, but no one's watching it. But it automatically saves itself as a video to my YouTube channel, ready to be shared, ready to be sent anywhere or embedded into a site if I want. I never have to download it on my computer. I don't have to edit it. I do have fancy video editing software. I don't use it half the time because I just do my simple, I trim the start, I trim the end. You can do some color corrections if you want, all right in YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/editor and you can do a bunch of crazy things with your video. It's all right there. You never have to download it to your computer. What you can also do with Hangouts is, because you can embed these videos into anything. The way I first started doing webinars was I used a theme called Optimize Press. It's a WordPress theme that lets you build landing pages and things like that. And all I did was I'd build a landing page where I take people's email, send them to a thank you page. And then the day it went live, I just made a blank page, took my Hangout video, embedded it on the page. I have a video, by the way, just let me know if you need this. I have a video where you watch me set all this up, everything, so you can do it. You embed the Hangout in your website, and underneath I embed, funny enough, Facebook comments. And I would do my webinar that way. And I did 5-figure sales on webinars that way. And that's what helped me launch my business. You don't need to spend tons of money. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to have the fanciest software. Optimize Press is $97 one time. You can build up to 3 websites. Hangouts is free. Maybe get a decent webcam like this guy, the Logitech C920, and it's probably like $80 or something like that on Amazon. So for under $200, you can use a pair of iPhone headphones as your microphone if you want. You can be doing webinars. And that's how I got started. Keep it simple, keep it basic. You'll realize people don't care as much about the technology and the professionalism as you think. What people care about is that you can solve their problem. People care about your content and your message. So start simple. Start using things like Hangouts for free. Talk to people on Facebook. Answer questions. Get out there. See the questions people are asking. And when you see people asking the same question over and over and over, do a webinar on the subject answering that question. Embed it on your page. You can do it even with just a WordPress blog. You can create a new post, switch over from the visual editor to the text. You can embed the HTML of your Hangout there. And so you can do a live webinar from a blog post. You can even embed Facebook comments on that same page or use WordPress comments. So you don't need to get fancy. The important thing is that you get started. Use tools like Hangouts. Use these free tools or inexpensive tools like Optimize Press, my favorite one, and really start doing these things. Talk to your market. You can spend all the time in the world making a fancy website, fancy videos, and running Facebook ads. But if you don't talk to your market, talk to your audience and answer their questions and get that feedback, you don't know if you're really giving them what they need. So my suggestion is to get started. So Petit, you say Optimize Press sounds like a winner. So see, I'm just reading your questions right here in Facebook as I'm talking to you. So yes, Optimize Press is a winner. I highly recommend it. Message me if you want to see a video about it, and I'll share that with you. It's incredible. So you don't use an additional camera for your webinars, just use your laptop's built-in one. Right now, this camera here, let me come back. Yes, I'm pointing at you there. This camera here is actually my Canon DSLR camera. I've never used it before on a webinar. I just got a new computer that finally, I'm all plugged in here. I can't show you. I have a cool box that lets me use this camera to live stream. So I'm testing it out right here, right now for the first time, actually. You're a part of it. So that's the camera I'm using. Normally, I use this Logitech one. Again, really inexpensive, great camera. But here's the truth. You can get away, and I also have a video for video tips. Maybe I'll share that in this link as well. Just show you my setup and it'll show you the video tips. But you can use a built-in camera. If it's a good camera to begin with, prop your laptop up so that it's eye level. And I'll show you the difference, by the way. I'll switch over to my default camera so you can see how much worse that would look at night. So let me switch my camera here. This is my built-in FaceTime camera. So you'll see it's not bad, but you'll see it's a lot more grainy because with not a lot of good light, I only have one light on here filling me because for my other camera, I don't need a ton of light. But this will do. I've done webinars with worse looking lighting and camera than this. It's not that important if your message is really good and what you're saying people really need. That's the important thing. Now, I think this is a little annoying because you can see the noise. That's like the static. So if you're going to use a built-in camera, here's what I would do. See this window here behind me? I would do this during the day, and I'd make sure I face this window. So the sunlight's coming directly and lighting me up. That's going to make this camera look 10 times better and would be good enough to do a webinar. So if you're just getting started and you're budgeting, you can use a built-in camera if it's a decent camera, and just use a pair of headphones, like an iPhone headphones with the built-in microphone. That will do the job. Just don't turn your head a lot during the presentation because it's right there. But I've done webinars. I had a partner actually do just over $10,000 in sales using a built-in camera on Wi-Fi, so the signal was not good, on a MacBook Air using a pair of iPhone headphones, and the message was really good. So it sold. People really care about the message. So don't worry about that stuff. If the technology and the equipment is holding you back from taking action, trust me when I say it's not as important. Just take action. Taking action is the most important part by far. So hopefully that answers your questions. Thank you. Well, thank you, Petit, for being on here live with me. That was exciting. I know it's in the comments and most people are ignoring the comments by now. But hopefully this answered your questions. If you have other questions, feel free to post them right on here. I'll share my video tips video right here in the comments of this post as well for you. But honestly, give it a try. Watch my video, how to launch a Hangout. Launch one as unpublished, like launch it so unlisted. Total brain freeze on what the word was. You think I'd done enough of these? I'd know. Launch it unlisted so it's just you, but play around. Share your screen. See how it works. Play around with your camera. See what it looks like. Broadcast, because remember, if it's unlisted, no one's going to see it. So it'll record and it'll be on your YouTube channel under your video manager. So you can go back and watch it. You can see what people would see when you're doing it. Can you make private videos on Facebook? That is a great question, Brandy. I'm going to say, no, you can't really. But what you could do is you could make, if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to build up private videos on YouTube. Yes. Yes, you can. That's good. So only group members can see them. Yeah. If you want, like I said, you can make it unlisted. You would launch it unlisted. I launched this one private. Again, I've got a video in this comment stream that'll show you how to do that. And then what you can do is if you share it to a group, like I'm pretty sure because I shared this to Freedom Hackers, I don't think you can actually share this out of the group. I could be wrong. I don't know the privacy settings on this group. So if you have a group, like a private mastermind group or a challenge group or a client group, you could actually do this, make it unlisted, broadcast it to your group, and it'll be within that group. Not everyone on YouTube is going to see it. So that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So there was another question here. Would you come up in search or SEO if you posted Hangouts to closed groups? I'm guessing not. You would if your Hangout itself was public. Because I'm doing this Hangout and I'm broadcasting it to Facebook, but because I've made it public, I can keyword this, I can write a description, I can tag it, I can do all the regular SEO things that you would do with a Facebook group, and it would come up in Google searches. And even though I'm talking to you here on Facebook, people could still find it on YouTube. If it's unlisted, however, it will not show up in any searches. So that won't happen. So let me see what have we got here. So hopefully that answers all of your questions. It's been about half an hour now, so I'll leave you alone. But like I said, watch those videos that I posted there. Get some feedback for me. Let me know if you try it, and send me a link to the things you're doing. Let me know about it. I'd love to see it. So thanks again. Until next time. And in the meantime, go out there and unleash your inner expert. Get out there and change lives with your message. I know you can. Thanks a lot.